Welcome to the Jackson Convention Complex in the 10th Annual Jackson Public Schools Consolidated JROTC Military Gala. Thank you for coming to help us honor and celebrate the outstanding community service and dedication of the JROTC cadets in the Jackson Public School District and the celebration of 86 years of JROTC in the district. The theme for this year's gala is Building Leaders for Life while focusing on STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. The colors are being posted by cadets from Wingfield High School. They are commanded by Cadet First Lieutenant Michael Lowry and assisted by Cadet First Lieutenant Kane Lynch, Cadet First Lieutenant Jabori Proby, and Cadet First Lieutenant DeMarcus Smidley. The national anthem will be played by Lanier Chorus Ensemble, Amaya Lattimore, Kyra Jenkins, Karai Davenport, Jaquilla Vance, and Shamicia McDonald.
Color guard, attention, forward, march. Color out, right, space, precinct, color.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Sir, request permission to post the colors.
Post the colors.
Color guard,
Captain Cadet Samiri Valadares from Lanier High School will now provide the invocation.
We thank you for allowing us to gather in fellowship to recognize the outstanding accomplishments of the Jackson Public School District JROTC program. Continue to instill a sense of pride, commitment, discipline, and service in the hearts and minds of the cadets and the communities in which we live and serve. Continue to allow us the opportunity to improve our academic performance so that we may continue to move the Jackson Public School District forward. Bless the food that was prepared for the nourishment of our bodies. Amen.
Amen.
We will now have the official welcome by Cadet Colonel Jaquarian Johnson, Brigade Cadet of the Year 2022-2023 from Callaway High School.
On behalf of the Director of Army Instruction, Colonel Frederick Brown, the senior Army instructors, the Army instructors, cadets and parents, administrators and invited guests, I am extremely delighted to welcome you to the 10th Annual Consolidated JROTC Military Gala for the Jackson Public School District and celebrating 86 years of success of JROTC in the JPS District. Tonight is an exceptional event. I'm glad that so many special people have decided to join us on this very occasion. I'd also like to acknowledge our cadets. We have worked so hard this semester to maintain our academics, to serve this great city and the surrounding communities. And by excelling in competitive events, throughout the state, culminating the first semester of the school year with the execution of tonight's celebration. We have a tremendous evening planned for you, so please sit back and relax and enjoy your dinner. Let's capture some magical moments, let's create some happy memories, and let's surround ourselves with laughter and friendship as we celebrate this event and the holiday season.
At this time, I'd like to introduce the head table. Our host for this evening's event is Colonel Retired Frederick Brown, Director of Army Instruction for Jackson Public Schools, and he is accompanied by Dr. LaRonda Ely, a graduate of Tougaloo College with a PhD from Syracuse University. Our featured guest speaker is Colonel Retired Jennifer Riley Collins, Chief Administrative Officer of Delta Regional Authority, and she is accompanied by her son, Mr. Joseph Collins, Principal Boyd Elementary School, and her grandson, Travis Collins. Mrs. Barbara T. Hillard, Vice President of Jackson Public Schools Board of Trustees. Mrs. Cynthia Thompson, a member of Jackson Public School Board, and she is accompanied by her husband, Mr. Erman Thompson. Dr. Eric Green is the Superintendent of Jackson Public Schools. Dr. Michael Cormack is the Deputy Superintendent for Jackson Public Schools, and he is accompanied by his lovely wife, Mrs. Crystal Cormack. Mrs. Marsha Thomas is the Jackson Public Schools Assistant Superintendent for High Schools. Chief Herman Horton is the Jackson State University Chief of Police, and he is accompanied by his wife, Mrs. Shamika Horton. Chief James Davis, Jackson Police Department Chief of Police. We also have Mr. Ashby Foote, President for Jackson City Council Members, Ward 1. Mr. Foote is accompanied by his wife, Mrs. Susie Foote. Major General Retired Augustus Collins, who is accompanied by his wife, Mrs. Deborah Collins. Mr. Vernon Hartley, Jackson City Council Member, Ward 5, and he is accompanied by Miss Jackie Wall. Stephanie Foster, Mississippi House of Representative. Mrs. Jane Alexander, President and CEO of Community Foundation for Mississippi, First Sergeant Sean Bounds, Operations Non-Commissioned Officer for JPS JROTC, who was accompanied by his lovely wife, Mrs. Miranda Bounds. Lieutenant Colonel Retired Kenzie Wallace, former Wingfield High School Senior Army Instructor, and he is accompanied by his wife, Mrs. Sharon Wallace. It is only fitting that we recognize the many partners and supporters of Jackson Public School District JROTC. Our partners and supporters are vital to the overall success of our JROTC program. At this time, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Tykeria Smith from Jim Hill High School will provide the history of the Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps, better known as JROTC.
The United States Army Junior ROTC program is a continuous success story. From a modest beginning of 6 units in 1916, JROTC has expanded to 1,701 schools today and to every state in the nation and American schools overseas. Enrollment in Army JROTC has grown to over 300,000 cadets with over 4,000 professional instructors in the classrooms. Comprised solely of military retirees, JROTC instructors serve as mentors and role models, developing the outstanding young citizens of our country. The Junior ROTC program came to the Jackson Public School District in the mid-1930s with the only program in Mississippi located at Central High School in downtown Jackson. In 1971, that program was transferred to Lanier High School, designated the 1st Battalion. From 1977 to 1980, the 2nd through 7th Battalions were activated at Murrah, Wingfield, Callaway, Forest Hill, Provine, and Jim Hill High Schools. The 8th Battalion at Bailey Magnet High School was added in the early part of 1993. Currently, the district has 7 Army JROTC battalions. Bailey's 8th Battalion was inactivated in June 2012 when the high school transformed to a middle school. The Junior Cadet Corps, a JROTC-like program for middle school students, was established at Powell Middle School in August 2016. Tonight, we are celebrating 86 strong years of success. Our JROTC cadets are the most active students in Jackson Public Schools. Beyond graduation from high school, our top goal is for 100% of our graduates to be formally accepted to institutions of higher learning. Last year, 96% of our graduating seniors achieved this goal, and we're looking to exceed that level this year. Approximately 90% of our JPS JROTC graduates continue their education in colleges and universities across our state and nation annually. About 20% of our graduates either enlist in the military or continue in senior ROTC after high school. Currently, we have 1,353 cadets enrolled in JROTC. We're striving to continue a legacy of excellence in preparing young people for successful living. Jackson Public Schools JROTC is truly living the mission, motivating young people to be better citizens who,
At this time, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Lanaya Chappell from Callaway High School will provide the history of military dining out.
Formal military dinners are referred to as dining out when civilian guests are in attendance, and dining in when only military members are in attendance. So officially, tonight's event could be considered a dining out. The dining out follows the same basic rules of the dining in, but is often tailored to minimize some of military traditions, thus making it more interesting to civilian guests. The practice of dining in is thought to have formally begun in 16th century England in monasteries and universities, though some records indicate that militaries have held formal dinners as far back as the Roman legions. During the 18th century, the British Army incorporated the practice of formal dining into their regimental mess system. Customs and rules of the mess were soon institutionalized rules known as Queen Regulations. The Americans, taking many of their traditions from the British military, held mess nights in the 18th and 19th century, but the tradition faded after the Civil War. During World War II, the custom was revived in the United States military, initially in the 8th Air Forces Unit, which was based in Britain. The JROTC Gala is a modified version of the Armed Forces Military Ball. Its goal is to promote good social skills and the joy of camaraderie. There is also dancing, dinner, and normally an inspirational message from a guest speaker. So sit back, relax, and have fun.
Now, we will recognize the Jackson Public School District JROTC cadet leadership. They are doing an outstanding job at their respective schools, leading the largest and most active organization on their campus. The brigade and battalion leadership are the top cadets of each of our respective JROTC units. These cadets are responsible for providing the overall leadership, purpose, motivation, and direction to students in our units. They have earned their rank and positions based on their overall performance, academically, and their involvement in JROTC activities, as well as other school and community extracurricular activities. This is an elite group of scholars, athletes, and leaders. The brigade leadership and staff were selected as Cadet of the Year 2022-2023 and are serving in their respective battalion. In February 2022, 7 battalion cadets of the year competed for the position of JPS JROTC Top Cadet, hence known as the brigade commander. The brigade commander and his or her staff are tasked with being the example, providing recommendations, guidance, and mentorship of the 7 battalions that fall under his or her leadership for the current school year. The overall top cadet for school year 2022-2023 performing the duties of brigade commander is Cadet Colonel Jaquarian Johnson of Callaway High School. The brigade command sergeant major is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Ashley Stokes. The brigade deputy commander is Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Gloria Hernandez of Wingfield High School, and her guest is Hugo Conte. The brigade executive officer, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Brandon Jones of Provine High School. The brigade personnel officer, S1, is Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Tykeria Smith of Jim Hill High School. She is accompanied by her good friend, Cadet Command Sergeant Major Omarion Brockington. The brigade operations officer, S2/3, is Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Jackson Bowman of Merrill High School. The brigade logistical officer, S4, is Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Shania Middleton of Forest Hill High School, and she is accompanied by Cadet Captain Yvonne Royce, Miss Forest Hill Homecoming Queen 2022. The Brigade Public Affairs Officer, S5, is Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Inaya Wall of Lanier High School, and she is accompanied by Cadet Jamarian Boyd of Merrill High School. Let's give school year 2022-2023 Brigade staff a round of applause. Now we will introduce the cadet who is currently serving as battalion commander for each of our JROTC programs. The commander of Lanier's JROTC program, the 1st Bulldog Battalion, is Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Inaya Wall. The command sergeant major of Murrell's JROTC program's 2nd Battalion Mustangs this evening is Cadet Command Sergeant Major Amachi Albright. The commander of Wingfield's JROTC program, 3rd Battalion Falcons, is Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Arnice Walker. She is accompanied by her guest, Bryce Walker. The commander of Callaway's JROTC program, the 4th Battalion Chargers, is Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Lanaya Chappell. The commander of Forest Hill JROTC program, the 5th Battalion Patriots, is Cadet Colonel Calvion Russell. He is accompanied by his executive officer, Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Jada Miller. The commander of Provine's JROTC program, 6th Battalion Mighty Rams, is Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Brandon Jones. The commander of Jim Hill's JROTC program, the 7th Battalion Tigers, is Cadet Lieutenant Colonel Kaylin O'Banner. She is accompanied by Desmond Kenner. The cadet leaders at Powell Academy of Military Science Trojans are Company Commander Cadet Corporal Jacuria Grady, Assistant Company Commander Cadet Private First Class Samaj Simmons, and the Senior Non-Commissioned Officer Acting Company Sergeant Cadet Private First Class Chloe Foster. They lead the Powell Company Junior Cadet Corps and its enrollment of 79 junior cadets representing 21% of the school population. The program was established in August 2016, and the cadets continue to lead the way with their motto, Rise Above. At this time, Private First Class Christopher Washington of the 2nd Brigade, 12th Regiment of Cavalry, 1st Armored Brigade Combat Team, 1st Cavalry Division, Fort Hood, Texas, will provide information on the tradition of recognizing our fallen comrades. Private First Class Washington is a 2020 graduate of Lanier High School. Private Washington served as the battalion commander of the 1st Bulldog Battalion and finished runner-up in the 2020 Jackson Public Schools JROTC Cadet of the Year competition.
You may have noticed the small table set for one that is off on its own. It is reserved to honor our fallen comrades in arms. This symbolizes that they are with us here in spirit. We should never forget the brave men and women who answered our nation's call to serve and serve the cause of freedom in a special way. We are ever mindful of the sweetness of enduring peace that has been tainted by the bitterness of personal sacrifice. We are compelled to never forget that while we enjoy our daily pleasures, there are others who have endured the agonies of pain, deprivation, and death. I would like to explain the meaning of the items on this special table. The table is round to show our everlasting concern for our fallen comrades. The tablecloth is white to show our symbolizing the purity of their motives when answering the call to duty. The single rose displayed in the vase reminds us of the life each of our fallen comrades and the loved ones and friends of these comrades who kept the faith. The vase is tied with a red ribbon, symbol of our continued determination to remember our fallen comrades. A slice of lemon on the bread plate is to remind us of the bitter fate of those who will never return. A pinch of salt symbolizes the tears endured by the families of those who have sacrificed all. The Holy Book represents the strength gained through faith to sustain those lost from our country. The glass is inverted. They cannot toast with us at this time. The chair is empty because they are no longer with us. Let us remember and never forget their sacrifice. May our fallen comrades and their families forever be watched over and protected. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, toasting is the ancient traditions of drinking together in honor of someone or some group in order to show respect or appreciation. It is believed that this custom came into wide acceptance after the effects of poisons were discovered. When two persons who might be antagonists drank from the same source at the same instant and suffered no ill effects, a degree of mutual trust and rapport was established. Today, toasting is a gesture to honor a person or group being recognized. It is not necessary to drain the glass or even sip from the glass. A mere touch of the glass to the lips satisfies the ceremony.
Ladies and gentlemen, I propose a toast to the United States of America.
United States. Ladies and gentlemen, I propose a toast to the Commander-in-Chief.
Commander-in-Chief.
I propose a toast to the United States Army.
United States Army. Our fallen comrades.
I propose a toast to Cadet Command.
To Cadet Command.
I propose a toast to the JROTC cadre cadet.
I brought the toast to the parents. To the parents.
Seniors.
I propose a toast to the ladies.
To the ladies.
Gentlemen, you may be seated.
We are honoring young people who have worked hard, they have met challenges, and they are on their way to greater things. Jackson Public School has one of the best JROTC programs in the country. All over the world, Jackson Public Schools is known for its outstanding program. As you reflect on the challenges that you have been confronted with, stop for a moment and think about the experiences that you have gained, the experiences that will make you a better person, experiences that will cause you to be successful in life, and that says a lot. We are so very, very proud of you young people. You are some of the most outstanding scholars in the district.
It's just a wonderful event each year to gather together in such numbers to show the strength of the JROTC program. It's a wonderful show of your leadership. I'm always so impressed by the leaders of each of the battalions and across the district. You just really make me proud. And all of the really hard work that our JROTC leadership, our teachers, all of those who have lent a hand, our partners, our parents, all of those who lend a hand to continue to build on this program each and every year. We are, in fact, one of the strongest programs, one of the largest programs, and we take great pride in what we've accomplished here and what we continue to accomplish. I just want to thank Colonel Brown for your continued leadership, for all that you pour into our JROTC program. I want to thank the Jackson Public Schools leadership who are here this evening. I appreciate each and every one of you.
Cadet Major Langston Wallace of Provine High School will introduce our guest speaker.
Ms. Jennifer Riley Collins currently serves as the Chief Administrative Officer of the Delta Regional Authority, or DRA. In 2019, Jennifer became the first African American to not only run, but secure the Democratic nomination for the statewide office of Attorney General. Jennifer is a 32-year military veteran. She retired from the United States Army in 2017 at the rank of colonel. Her last assignment was at the military assistant to the Assistant Secretary of the Army for Manpower and Reserve Affairs at the Pentagon. She is a magna cum laude graduate of Alcorn State University, and in 1999 received her Doctor of Jurisprudence from Mississippi College School of Law. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Ms. Collins.
To the parents, the TTs, uncles, and friends who support these students, I commend you for every investment that you have made and will make to ensure that the gifts hidden within each of these students are stirred up, made room for, and brought before great men. You were the first to build these leaders for life. To Colonel Brown and all of the dedicated men and women of the Jackson Public Schools JROTC cadre who wear the uniform in service of this nation and who decided to continue their service to this nation in service to our students, thank you. You accepted the standard and have nurtured character development, provided leadership experience, and provided life skills. What has been done with and through the Jackson Public Schools JROTC program in the lives of these students under the banner of motivating our students to become citizen leaders is nothing less than phenomenal. To Superintendent Dr. Eric Green, sir, you are an agent of change. You, sir, have chosen to walk the post in a military manner, always keeping alert and observing everything that takes place in sight or hearing. So I thank you for sticking and staying the course. Continue to rock steady. Tonight, my story is not about one character, but about a cast of characters that I think you will recognize. The cast of characters that have us to remember about the hidden superpower within. That power that we only need stir up through education and taking advantages to step into leadership like those offered by the Jackson Public Schools JROTC program. I want you to ask yourself, students, what powers are you beginning to discover within you that are your superpowers? What are the problems around you that you instinctively know that you have the answer to? Let me remind you, daily for almost 2 years, you lifted your head and tuned your eyes in laser-focused attention to computer screens to engage in educational innovations offered by your teachers, while maintaining control over your fears of the unknown of COVID-19. But you did it. You showed the world your resilience through an ice storm in 2021 that impacted water lines, and in 22 water lines that dried up when failed infrastructure gave up. And so you recommitted your minds to what was possible, learning and building an emotional intelligence that is required not only for tomorrow, but to be the leaders in your schools and communities that you are today. And so we do not shy away from the fact that some of your friends and loved ones during a time of heightened gun violence may have caught one. But instead of running scared, you became the Superman on your street, on your block, in your sub, who declares to other youth that we must be we must be as a district, we must be as a city and a state, more responsible and committed to social justice issues than we ever have been. And so you determined by your God-given abilities to evolve as a hero. You turned to science, technology, engineering, and mathematics and found another way to fly. You are Superman, you are Superwoman, you are JRTC cadets. But you may say, well, Colonel Collins, that's cute, and that's a nice pep talk, but most of us don't look like Clark Kent, Kal, or Superman. To you, I would say, no, you don't. But you do look like me, a baby born of a maid and a truck driver growing up next to a railroad track on a dirt road. You look like women, like the women in the movie Hidden Figures. The Hidden Figures were real people. People who were scientists, activists, pioneers of their industry and of equality. They were Dorothy Vaughan, Katherine Johnson, and Mary Jackson. The environment in which they lived was not much different from the one that we find ourselves in sometimes, separated and segregated. The women of Hidden Figures undoubtedly were a part of their country's achievement. They did not quit. They overcame obstacles. Can you imagine driving on a road without traffic lights? Gary Morgan could, and so as a result, he created the traffic light in 1923, and he looked like you. Jerry Lawson, a director of engineering and marketing for Fairfield Semiconductor, Lawson developed the first home game that you could remove the cartridge. That's the way we still play today. Then we have Marie Van Britten Brown, a nurse who often found herself in her Jamaica Queens apartment when her husband was at work. So young ladies, designed the first home security system. Kimberly Bryant, when studying electrical engineering in college, noticed that she was one of the few people of color there. Even though there has been an increase in diversity since she was in school, there remains a lack of people of color in STEM industries, especially young women of color. And thus she started Black Girls Code in 2011. Catherine Finney, who understood that the power and freedom lies in economic security. She successfully launched and ran one of the first lifestyle blogs, Budget Fashionista. Ms. Finney went on after she sold Budget Fashionista to found Digitally Undivided, which provides Black and Latino women with connections, coaching, and funding to transition from their high-growth companies into entrepreneurship. And then my last favorite one is Lonnie Johnson. Now, y'all might not know Lonnie Johnson, that he was an engineer and he worked for the Air Force and NASA, but I bet you recognize the Super Soaker. Mr. Johnson went on, because of the Super Soaker, to make $200 million in sales. What I love about these amazing persons that happen to look like you and I is that they saw an issue or a thing that they wanted to approve, and they used their superpower of intelligence and critical thinking and matched it with a little science, a little technology, a little mathematics, and they solved problems that made life better for themselves and for us. One last cast of characters I want to remind you of this evening are those in the Black Panther movie. Your chest swole a little bit with pride and gratitude because you were seeing young folk, young black boys, young black girls, young people see themselves in a film and on a stage of great magnitude. It displayed a positive portrayal of the African diaspora, rarely seen. Black Panther depicts people willing to work together for the benefit of everyone. The source of their power was hidden. It's a symbol that power lies hidden beneath the surface, unknown to the rest of the world. By extension, it is a symbol of the advantage given by having the resource of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. The logic goes that if only marginalized and disadvantaged people had the tools to even the odds, they would change the world. You young people have the tools. They are hidden within you. Do you sense it? Do you see it? Do you know it? Attention to orders. With the authority I have as Colonel Jennifer Riley Collins, and with the special trust and confidence placed in me to speak into your lives this evening by Jackson Public School District, in view of the patriotism, valor, fidelity, and professional excellence, and your demonstrated leadership and potential, I do declare the following. You have conducted yourself in a manner that has brought great credit to your families, country, school, and the Corps of Cadets. You are loyal and patriotic. You are the future of the United States of America. You do not lie, steal, or cheat. You have been found to always be accountable for your actions and deeds. You are always practicing good citizenship and patriotism. You have worked hard to improve your mind and strengthen your body. You have sought the mantle of leadership and stand prepared to uphold the Constitution and the American way of life. Because you have, there are gifts and talents, intellect, and know-how inside of you. You need only to stir them up, bring them out, let the world see. You are supermen. You are destined for greatness. Show them who you are. And may God continue to grant you the strength to always live by the ROTC creed. I salute you.
We have a warrior that's serving Jackson Public School District, JROTC, for 17 years after serving 25 years in the United States Army. That warrior was my combat buddy in 1980. When I arrived back here in 2012, that young man asked me, he said, I know your voice. He said, I remember your voice. And that young man went home and looked at his portfolio and he said, that's Private Brown. And that young man is here tonight. He's like a brother to me. He retired from Wingfield High School, June 30th this past year. And ladies and gentlemen, I want Colonel Kinsey Wallace and his wife Sharon to stand because I want everybody from Wingfield High School to get up on the floor and clap your hands for my friend, my friend and my brother. It says, we the JROTC cadets and cadre and Jackson Public School administrators appreciate the sacrifice and the service you have made over 25 years of service on active duty and being a JROTC instructor at Wingfield High School from 2005 to 2022. Your professionalism and mentorship for our cadets did not go unnoticed. And we want to wish you and your family the best. We love you and God bless you. Also, I want to thank the entire JPS leadership team, especially our principals. Thank you for your support of our JROTC programs, because we could not do without the principals. And for all you exemplify to help lead our this district through these challenging times. I'd also like to thank the parents, and other supporters of the JROTC program. You know, tonight's event is an example of showing the community and JPS that our scholars are competitive and striving for success in support of their JPS core values. We believe in the importance of equity, excellent growth mindset, relationships relevance, and a positive and respectful culture. This is a grand celebration of the accomplishments and contributions of all our JROTC cadets and our JROTC instructors in 2022. I want to especially thank the lead planner and the coordinator for this year's gala, and that is none other than Colonel Regal Perry and his team from the Lanier High School Bulldogs, 833. Bulldogs. We are very proud of our cadets as they stand out among their peers and represent our best scholars for the future. Cadets, we ask that you stay strong and stay focused on being a person of high moral character, one with discipline, respect, and strong work ethics. Ladies and gentlemen, when I go to visit all of our classrooms and I talk to our students, I ask those students, who needs you? The question is, who needs you, as she just stated, basically, and what do you offer? When looking at the challenges of the competitive world in which we live, the current labor demands to reduce costs have resulted in advanced technology replacing lower-level entry jobs once occupied by humans. You see, social media has changed how we do business and have created opportunities for highly skilled laborers. So cadets, tonight I want you to continue to remember, who needs you? You have to be competitive in order to compete. I'd also like to thank our JROTC alumni for staying connected to come back and mentor our cadets and inspire our cadets, because that's what it's all about, because you're in the real world and you can teach them and come back and share your experiences with them. Our cadets deserve a ton of credit for their hard work, dedication, and determination. There is one special group of individuals, and I would like for all of our cadre, SAIs and AIs, to please stand, because I want everybody to know that tonight that our instructors are always there teaching, coaching, mentoring, and encouraging our cadets to strive for excellence. Let's give them a round of applause, because they are the backbone. They are the backbone of this program. Please stand, all our JROTC instructors.
We thank you for attending our 10th annual JROTC Military Gala. We sincerely thank our partners and supporters who helped us make tonight's program special. We also thank the JROTC Gala Committee members and the Convention Complex staff for their work in planning and coordinating this event.